Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special episode.
Episode of what?
Of Four Jerks, One Cast.
Was that what you call us already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We already have a name. There's actually only 3 jerks tonight, but that's okay. You got me, Pony Cordero, newly changed name to Manny Roar, and we have...
And I am Sunset Bolt, who has never been in any one of these until now.
You are... Tell everyone what you do.
He gives me video footage to edit, and I do whatever the hell I want with it.
Pretty much, like literally whatever the hell you want with it.
Fucking it up.
And Peanut Gallery over there is Magic Hat on the other side of the mic, who you can barely hear.
Otherwise known as Douchemouth.
He's keeping an eye on our audio levels and stuff. Actually, he's playing on his phone.
He's also making douchey comments towards me. I don't like that.
I can do both.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, all 3, including making douchey comments.
The point of us getting together today is we want to talk about an epidemic known as friendship is witchcraft.
Which is horrible.
No, it's not. Let's preface this real quick. There is nothing wrong with friendship is witchcraft. In fact, I'm glad it exists. I'm happy that it exists. I'm glad that people like the show enough that fans will get together and do fan projects and work on things. This stuff I do sucks too.
I guess.
I mean, like if we ratted on everyone who did something that slightly sucked, you know, like that would.
But
that
they
would just...
tried. It's just that witchcraft's humor is.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
We will get to that. The point of a fandom is we want to get together and celebrate the fandom, and part of the way we do that is we express ourselves through like art and media and things we do. So there's going to be good stuff, there's going to be less good stuff.
Look, you're trying to say PG-13.
One of the greatest things of this fandom is that the good stuff tends to outweigh the bad greatly as far as quality of content goes. So I'm not sad that friendship is witchcraft exists. In fact, I even think it's pretty okay. The problem that I have
is the one that's better is not recognized.
Not so much that. Well, yes, that. And also, friendship is witchcraft just gets this undeserved acclimates. Like it's so.
Okay, you know what this reminds me of? Oh, hold on.
Hey,
go ahead.
Hey, audio engineer, go back to engineering the audio.
Oh no, finish your story. What were you gonna tell us?
I said a word wrong.
Oh, okay. So
accolades.
Here's what friendship is witchcraft's fame reminds me of. For the longest time, I never saw the movie Frozen, and the entirety of the internet built that up to like unholy levels. Like this is the movie, and I saw it, and I'm like, this is all right. This is a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy. I won't forget this for a while. Like some other shitty Disney movies I saw, like Rio. I saw it at a cousin's house.
Rio. Yep.
Forgot it the next day. It was a shitty movie.
Well, with
but
Frozen,
the thing is, it's like it wasn't that amazing, and it's like you built this way too high.
So for you, it was a movie that was given an S rank, and it turned out it was just an A, maybe a double A rank.
It was a movie that was given like triple, quadruple S rank, and it was like
quadruple S rank.
Yeah, I was like, this is an A. All
is there any game that does quadruple S rank? I'm pretty sure the point of S rank is the top.
I don't like the series, but I think DMC does it, or if not triple S.
That's kind of obnoxious to have triple S.
It is obnoxious. Anyway. It makes you feel special about yourself.
It does make you feel special. Well, Friendship is Witchcraft is a C level. It gets a C grade for quality, but it is touted as an A show.
Yeah.
Oh, like it's like, oh, this is one of the coolest things that the fandom does and all this stuff. Again, back to prefacing things.
Okay.
Did I say that right?
Yes, prefacing.
I'm looking at our audio engineer. How's Facebook?
Yes. We're trying to try.
I just wanted to point out that the best thing about Friendship is Witchcraft, and you know, I just want to say everything it's doing right before we go into what's doing wrong, so people won't be like, oh, you're just a bunch of haters. Why gotta be a bunch of haters? Friendship is Witchcraft. Keep doing your thing. Keep making stuff. It's fine. We're glad you're there. I hope you say
what I think you're gonna say.
The music is great.
Thank you.
The music is fantastic. Oh my god. That is S rank.
Whoever writes the music, I hope you do hear
Griffinilla.
Oh, Griffinilla?
A couple other people. I think the main talent behind the music is Griffinilla.
Well, I love you.
Fought with me through the autumn. You know, the seasons and that
Griffin
stuff.
Village.
Yeah, Griffin Village. I thought it was Griffinilla. Griffin Village.
It might be the guy's name in like a different album. I don't know. But
OC names, am I right? Says the guy who just changed his name from Pony Cordero to Manny Roar.
Yeah, homo.
Yeah, but I'm not famous yet. It's only confusing if you're horse famous and you change your name. I'm not horse famous, so I can have 10 names.
You were on a video with a horse famous person.
Oh, Sweetie Bloom?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I followed that jackass.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I knew her before she was cool. Well, I Skyped her and bothered her before she was cool. We're really bad at topic. I wanted this one to be a short podcast.
I'm the one who's like balancing on topic. Anyway, so yeah, I agree with this definitely. The guy who does the music is fantastic. Their songs are amazing. Oh my god.
So the main premise of what we're going with tonight is we wanted to compare the show Friendship is Witchcraft. It's a direct parody show, kind of like what Team 4-Star and people on the internet have done.
Pretty much what? I think it was Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged started all that shenanigans.
Which is all Team 4-Star is everyone now. That's Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, Hellsing Abridged,
it all started,
Dragon Ball Z Abridged, duh.
Like for the most part, it did kind of like I believe spring forth from Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, and everybody jumped on the train.
Yes, I think that was the original one. It's time to duel.
Yes.
Screw the rules, I have money. Yeah, that was the original parody. And so it's a parody in that thread. And then there's another show that popped up made by a guy or a group called Flam Philosophy.
Yes.
It's hard to say. I want to say Flim Flam every time, but it's not. It's
I know, right?
As in friendship. He did that on purpose, fucker. It's Fim Flam, so friendship is magic, and then Flam.
And as I believe,
it's a double play on words.
Like, who remember? I do believe the first one existed, but before, like, Witchcraft and Fim Flam Philosophies showed up, Mentally Advanced Abridged series, there was, like, one original. It had one episode. And I remember it being god-awful. So bad.
Well, if we're going to do the history, and yes, we are, you are thinking of Camaraderie is Supernatural?
No, I'm not thinking of that one.
Oh,
I know Camaraderie, and it wasn't bad.
Oh, well, then you're talking a completely unrelated one that doesn't matter.
It vanished.
Camaraderie was everyone together. It all comes from the same origin. Friendship is Witchcraft and Fim Flam were on the same team making Camaraderie is Supernatural.
Yeah, then I guess they had disagreements with his humor.
You may have noticed that everything funny about Camaraderie
came from him.
Left with Flim Flam and everyone else, and then I guess that they had to get their mom to write it for them after that. Friendship is Witchcraft. But I'm so bad.
No, you might be spot on. Anyway, so
yeah, they used to work together in that series, but yeah, they had a falling out, problems, fights.
I guess they thought his humor was too dark, which is dumb considering what they did.
What's funny, I don't know if that's the complaint. I just know that they split and made their own channels. If their complaint was that his humor is too dark, their humor is way darker than Fim Flam. And what's funny is both of them deal with similar subject matters. Okay, Fim Flam Philosophy does the same thing, makes a parody show based on the show, or did before, makes a parody show based on the show, and his humor, actually, he does touch on more negative subject matter and more cynicism.
But he does it in a lighthearted way.
Exactly. He keeps it lighthearted. He keeps the jokes coming.
Yeah.
And he keeps it up. And it doesn't dwell on the darkness. Like, Friendship is Witchcraft, when there's a dark joke, it's
always on Fluttershy for one.
Well, so is him, to be fair. He flutter dumps too. But
in a different way. Well, they don't flutter dump. Witchcraft just hasn't made her...
The difference is that Friendship is Witchcraft has to point at their joke for an hour and say, "Did you get it? Did you get our joke?"
Here's my biggest issue with that as well. Speaking of getting the joke, Mentally Advanced Abridged series, Fem Philosophy series. These characters are like they're characters. It's like they're all live and breathe. They bounce off each other. It's fantastic. Witchcraft. They're not characters, they're jokes.
Yeah, they are walking jokes.
They are
references.
They are one joke put into a pony body, and that went on for, like, way too many episodes.
Let's do some examples, because we're assuming if people are listening to this, that you guys have seen pieces of both. If you haven't, I definitely recommend checking out both. If you only check out one, I recommend checking out Fim Flams.
Oh my god, yes.
Stuff.
Watch the Parasite episode of Witchcraft, because that's the dumbest one. That explains a lot. You get a good idea from that.
The Parasite? Well, that's their first one.
I killed this apple for you!
Yeah, that's the opening joke of Friendship is Witchcraft, is Fluttershy sees a Parasite, and she squashes an apple to feed the Parasite, and she says, "I killed it for you."
It's like,
I'm like, "No, Fluttershy, you killed it for me." that was not funny. It just goes from that. You like that?
That was great. Fantastic. Oh, brava.
And there's just so many jokes like that. And the thing is, as that was their first episode, it was the roughest episode. To be fair, compared to the first episode of Mentally Advanced, the first episode of Fim Flam's Mentally Advanced is pretty rough.
Nah.
Pacing is rough. But audio's not that great.
I could laugh at it, though.
I could laugh at it, too. But, like, the pacing is rough. There's too much space between the characters talking in it. It was the first one he'd done on his own.
Yeah, that's fine.
Basically. So we can say all day that his first is better than their first, and then you watch as they evolve, and Fim Flam, His jokes just come where they're just rifling off. They're back and forth, and he doesn't focus on them. It's not the overall thing. Isn't the bit jokes? The overall thing is the story. And his joke is the juxtaposition he chooses to do, because both of them are based on juxtaposition.
Yeah.
Flim Flam's juxtaposition is where the show likes to have big adventure arcs. He takes the adventure arcs and makes them the most mundane, uninteresting thing possible, and it makes it 3 times as funny as if you've seen the episode. But also, the dialogue and the humor is good enough on its own that if you've never watched any of the show, you still enjoy the jokes.
You don't need to watch the show at all.
And that's the thing. If something fails as a parody, if it's not funny on its own, if you're not in and don't get it, you need to still be able to enjoy the parody. Otherwise, it's a bad parody.
Yeah.
Flim Flam, you can know nothing about Friendship is Magic and walk into it, and the stuff they do is funny. And it only enriches it to know the characters. Friendship is Witchcraft, if I knew nothing about Friendship is Magic and I came in on FIW,
oh, God.
I wouldn't get so many of the references they make. And they make a lot of fandom references, too. So not only are they excluding people that don't watch the show, they're excluding people who aren't in the fandom. So people who know the show can come in and not get all these jokes and references they're making.
To be fair, on that point, and I'm just being kind of a splitting-haired douchebag at this point, but if someone doesn't want to watch the show in the first place, why are they going to watch the British series about ponies?
Some people like to get into series through parody.
Fair enough.
Or if something is popular enough, they'll check it out.
I'm just talking about, the...
Well, yeah,
watching... People who hate it because Colorful Horses. I'm just trying to be a dick. Anyway.
True, but yeah, like people who may not necessarily go watch a show, but if a parody video that's 5 minutes long has gotten a lot of attention, that's something somebody might click on.
Yeah.
Even if they've never seen the show or weren't going to go watch it, because it's just a 5-minute parody. And that's the thing. And it's not just excluding people who aren't part of the audience and people who aren't well into the fandom. It's that the juxtaposition that Flim Flam does is, like I said, he takes the Avengers and makes them mundane. And the ones that are slice of life episodes, he takes the slice of life episodes and whatever the lesson was, usually the lesson was like somebody learns how to be a better pony or learns something about themselves or overcomes their weaknesses.
Like none of season 4.
It's the... Yeah, inspiration manifestation. Don't derail. Come on.
Says the guy who spent the entire first half of this derailing.
Now you're re-derailing. I'm back. I'm on the tracks now.
I can't help but I like a show about colorful horses. Anyway.
It's pretty great, but you guys know that. Where was I? You made me lose it.
Mundane episodes.
The mundane episodes. Or not the mundane episodes, it's the
mundane adventures.
The slice of life episodes.
There you go.
He takes whatever lesson it was, and it's not necessarily the opposite lesson. That's what people don't understand about juxtaposition, or what noobs don't get about juxtaposition, is you think you have to do polar opposite, black to white, sweet to sour.
Yeah.
Like
Friendship is Witchcraft has to do.
Exactly, but juxtaposition, it just has to be 2 things that stand out, that contrast to each other, and they're not necessarily polar opposite. So if it's a story about the CMC learning to wait and be patient for the cutie marks, they've never learned that. They're learning the magic of friendship through cutie marks and all the cutie mark stories. Flim Flam philosophy would take that and turn it into each of the ponies just do pointless rambling for a long time and talk about themselves, and then ignore the cutie mark crusaders.
Yeah, who pretty much...
and then at the end of it, absolutely nothing was learned and nothing was gained.
Yeah,
it's not necessarily the opposite.
But it's a hilarious
it's something that contrasts to what happens in the show. So that's how he juxtaposes. The adventures become mundane, and the slice of life becomes even slicier of lifeier, where it's just nothing. It's like going to the office for a day.
Is that even a word?
No, it's not. It's like going to the office and doing paperwork, and the reason that works is because of how different it is from the show. And while they're doing nothing, they're making jokes about nothing. Like,
yeah.
It's kind of the whole Seinfeld thing, where you're making the humor off of the interaction of the playing off of each other,
yeah,
and making a joke about there being nothing there. Because the show is all about there being substance and something greater, and Flim Flam Philosophy's parody is all about there is nothing. There's nothing under the surface.
But
everything
inside all that nothing, there's so much.
Yeah.
There's so much in there.
You thought there was happiness? No, there's only emptiness.
There's.
That's what.
I guess there's.
And it's so funny because without throwing it in your face and being like everything is sad, they're like I'm gonna be mean to you because it's funnier to be mean. He still keeps the characters similar. Like, they still feel like the character, because it's a parody, they're exaggerations of the character, but it still feels like each individual character, and they're still behaving in ways that make sense and behaving within the rules of the original universe, but the overall feel you get is, instead of everything is friendship is magic and everything is happy, you get that everything is just empty and everything is cynical.
It's like and you don't stuck together.
Right, you don't realize that that's what he's doing at any particular point. There's no particular joke or statement that tells you that the tone is different. It's just through the course of the writing that it's different, and that's what makes it really clever, as opposed to Friendship is Witchcraft, which, for them to juxtapose something, it's just, oh, Fluttershy is sweet and kind? Well, what if she kills and murders something? And then points it out, and it's an apple.
But the thing is that the characterization there is, it just ends there. That's it.
Yeah, that's the whole juxtaposition.
Like, I can describe to you every single character. Twilight's a fucking weeaboo joke. That's it. That's all. Really that's all it is. It's like really she makes weeaboo jokes all day. That's all she does. AJ is, I don't even understand it. Some kind of war vet or something. That never made sense. They never touched on that.
Yeah, like
Rarity is some other war vet, which also makes no sense.
You just said Rarity's a war vet twice.
I said, I meant AJ the first time.
Oh, yeah, that's how Apples won the war.
Yeah, and then Rarity also, for whatever unexplained reason.
Hey, How Apples Won the War is a really fun song.
That was one I didn't like, actually.
Oh, it's still a fun song. It's still high quality writing.
I hate it. I just don't like it. And then, let's see, Rainbow says the word rainbow all day. That's her shtick. That doesn't get boring after, like, the first 2 episodes.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that. And you reminded me that was a thing.
Yeah, because they stopped using her for like a couple episodes.
I'm a little less happy this evening now because you reminded me that they just made Rainbow say rainbow all the time.
Yeah, this is so on Rainbow. Like that's not humor.
See, Flim Flam Philosophy had a running gag with Rainbow Dash that she's lazy and always takes the easy way out, and she's a college dropout, and
hasn't told her parents
she's an attention seeker, but she's really dumb, and she's kind of talented, but she's also really dumb and messes things up and forgets. It's an entire character. Like, the running gag is every aspect of her character, and even though it's exaggerated and different from the show, you can see that it's pulled from the show. Like, it's derived from the show to make this funny parody, whereas Friendship is Witchcraft is like, what do they do? Do the opposite. Isn't that funny?
It's so Rainbow.
Oh.
That doesn't... And Pinky was the only one that's weird, because I haven't seen her in a while in any episodes, but her whole gag was that her parents died, and that was actually kind of like, it feels like everything they ever did was like, all their thought process was poured into Pinky.
Really? That's where they put their best characterization, was in the...
Yeah, it's like... No,
that is true.
Not characterization, like...
Because Gypsy Bard, and...
They had an entire episode about her, like, reversing time, bringing her parents back?
Yeah.
It's like the entire process...
Pinky's Brew.
...of the entire series that they created up. We're into Pinky, and they're like, oh, we gotta put things around Pinky. Oh, shit.
Well, yeah, because
we'll make her say rainbow, we'll make her a weeaboo. Okay, there you go. That's it, we'll roll with it.
Well, Pinky got the 2 songs, and actually, Pinky had the best 2 songs.
She had the best 2 songs.
Arguably, 2 of the best songs that have ever come out of the fandom are Pinky's Brew and Gypsy Bard.
I love the Russian version of Pinky's Brew.
Like, I could do an entire podcast just analyzing the lyrics of Pinky's Brew and Gypsy's Bard. It's so clever. It's so good. There's allegories in there. It tells a story.
It's a beautiful story.
It does what Flim Flam does. Like, I hate to say that, like he's the epitome of writing in the universe, but it does a similar thing that Flim Flam does, where it'll cover dark territory, but not dwell in the darkness. It tells an overall story. Like, that Pinky has pain, but it's all wrapped around this song that's reminding you to stay happy and move on with things.
It's like, it's not trying to be dark. It's just dark because it happened. Bad shit happened.
Yeah, real shit happened, and this is how she's dealing with it and moving on. Like, the things are like, my memories are blurred and their faces obscured, but I still know the words of the song. She's talking about not being able to remember what her family looks like. That's some heavy freaking stuff. Her family died and she can't even remember what they look like, but hey, I'm going to play this tambourine and get you to sing along with me, because this is the lifestyle I've chosen, how to move on. And all of this is just in these little lines. Like, again, I'll probably actually do it where I break them down line by line, because they are that good, which is what shocked me. I was like, how can the lyrical writing and musical quality of a production be this good, this high caliber, but the writing of the actual show dialogue...
But everything outside of Pinky is... ass.
See, here's the thing. Friendship is Witchcraft is not the worst thing I've ever seen, by far. There's some cleverness in it. There's parts that make me laugh. They do make me laugh.
There's some good points. Like, one of my favorite gags, I want to point out, just one moment. Let's look at the first CMC episode, where it's like, oh, what do we name her? This is one of my name ourselves, and they did the whole blinking gag to the music.
Yeah.
And like at first it was blinking normally, and then it just kind of goes with the music, and it caught me off guard. I was like, I actually laughed my ass off at that. Like I had to pause and everything. That was too good.
Are you talking about the blind seed or whatever the? Or
No,
the
no.
seed?
No, fuck that.
Bad apple seed.
That was a dumb episode. I mean, the first CMC episode where like they were first introduced. You know, Apple Bloom first met them.
Oh, okay.
Sweetie Belle and Scootaloo.
Yeah.
Or Sweetie Bot, which
Sweetie
was
Bot.
also never explained.
Well, to be fair, neither was Thrakazad, which is
Yeah,
Flam's.
he was a demon in that's why someone in her attic.
Well, we know. Oh, it was in her attic.
Yeah, the one that liked like
missed
science
that
and
part.
math. In one episode.
Oh, and that's how she got possessed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Notice it, she said she got rid of it at one episode.
Oh.
It hit Sweetie Belle.
And it was Thrakazad.
Yeah.
I want to do whatever normal ponies do.
Yeah. That was the demon in her attic.
But you got me off track. I was making a point about how Friendship is Witchcraft. Yeah, they just focus on the dark thing.
Yeah.
And then they point at it and make you think about it. Like in the wedding episode.
Haven't seen that one, but
with Shining Armor. Well, since we're not related, it'll be okay.
I heard that song.
The whole thing. Yeah, the song again, amazing. Song's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I never seen the episode. He told me the song, fantastic.
I love the Prince Whatever cover. That's probably the one I showed you. The original's fantastic, and the Prince Whatever cover with Dream Chan is fantastic.
You never showed me that one. I think you showed me the original.
Anyway, we'll talk about videos we've watched together later. But,
Okay.
but like, actually, we're talking about videos we watched. Anyway, like the song is really good, and my critique of that whole episode is it's all of their usual problems. Song was great. That entire episode should have just been the music video. Because that music video was the episode. Everything they had to say, every joke they had to make, like everything clever that they brought to the table for that episode was in the song. So if they had just made a music video, like maybe the opening scene was like, "What's going on, Twilight?" and then she just sings that song, and then that's the end of the episode. That would have been, I would be like 10 out of 10. Would watch again. One of the best things to ever come out of the fandom. It was genius. Like they actually need to write less. Like they need to just write an episode every time they have a song and just have some kind of intro scene into the song, do the song, and then cap it real quick. You know what? And their episodes would be so good.
They should just make just stick to like a musical kind of thing, because apparently that's what they're amazing at.
Yeah.
Because
make music videos, guys.
Make musical episodes.
They're not listening to us.
I know. But just make stories through music, because apparently you've already shown you can do that with Pinky's Brew and Gypsy Bard. Holy shit, those are amazing.
Let's wrap this up in the next couple minutes. One thing I want to get to, we've only talked about Mentally Advanced, which is the roughest of what Fim Flam has done. Even the later Mentally Advanced, I'd say the last 3 or 4 episodes, top tier. He perfected the technique by then.
I can still watch that shit over and over again.
I don't want to get into how he's been copyright. He's been copyright hit by YouTube.
Long story. He's been copied.
He gets French. It's the universe is not fair. Friendship and Witchcraft has never been copyright.
But he's
had it done 3 times.
Bullshit too, especially because it's probably because my bias against it. But how does Witchcraft never get hit?
It is really interesting because they use actual footage from the show. You think the idea would get
non-stop.
My conspiracy theory on this, because they've done lots of panel stuff at conventions, big conventions. They've been noticed. They should have been noticed by Hasbro. I think they got permission from the legal team.
Probably.
That is my guess. My only explanation that they've never been hit. They must have permission to do what they're doing, or just they got so big so fast that Hasbro decided not. I don't know. Because it's not Hasbro's the legal team that does it, because legal team C&Ds and does the YouTube content, and then Hasbro finds out that people are mad and they're like, wait, what? We did what? Oh, I don't know. Our legal team was doing stuff. There's not a Hasbro council meeting of shadowy figures with dim light where they go. So the Fim Flam has gotten too big. He must be taken down. Boop.
Are you sure it's not how it works?
Send in the lawyers!
After Jan Animations, I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
The Jan must fall.
Jan has gotten too big.
There's just pictures of button mash like X'd out on like cards on the table. Kill him! Kill it! Shire Backends!
Alright, before we get out of this, I do want to hit one more thing on the humor between the two.
Oh, please move on. If you're going to do it, use examples from Rainbow Dash Presents, because I wanted to move on to is after he got content ID'd and Fim Flam Mentally Advanced went down, he was doing Rainbow Dash Presents, where Petarep, his artist, was doing the art and he was doing the comedy and writing all that stuff. perfect marriage of fandom.
Yes.
Petarap's art was
my God.
amazing, and his comedy. The Rainbow Dash Presents are the best things he's ever made.
You've probably seen him, but pretty much they're just like, he takes, well-known horror fan, or
Not necessarily horror, just fan fiction.
it's just well-known fanfics. Usually he took like the bad ones, like Rainbow Factory and Cupcakes.
Stuff that got large attention.
Yeah.
Large attention.
And he took them and made his own spin on it.
He parried them in the way that he parodied the show. He would juxtapose the subject matter of the fanfic and then bring it into his own humor style, and then retell it and make it funnier. Like
he pretty much just put his characters in there and then let them go free.
He did Cupcakes and Rainbow Factory, kept the subject matter just as dark, made the jokes around the dark stuff that was going on, pointed and laughed at it with fourth wall jokes to show the absurdities that were in the fan fictions, and then also managed to take it and lighten it up and bring it back to a more happy side without losing just how fucked up and dark those fan fictions were. I can't get over how
again,
good
all he really did was just put his characters in there. His characters,
yeah,
they have their own dark stuff and whatever, but they're still lighthearted and it works. It works perfectly.
Yeah,
it's like if you put Flim Flam's version of Rainbow Dash in that fanfic, I'm pretty sure that's pretty much how it would go.
It's pretty good. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Final thoughts.
Hold on, before we do that, I want to hit like
Final thoughts, I guess.
Yeah, because we did watch that one episode of Witchcraft before we did any of this. The Raindrops one.
The Raindrops one?
Snowdrop? Whatever.
Oh, the Snowblind one. That was the Babseed one.
Yeah, that's the one I wanted to talk about.
That was 2 episodes. Why didn't they make 2 episodes? Because you have it starts as Babseed.
That's my thing on their humor, and I don't think they know how to do humor right because like
that was a pacing issue. That was a pacing issue and a storytelling issue. They start out
every episode.
They start out the first half
makes has an issue.
The first half. Well, they have pacing in a lot of episodes. The first half is the Babseed jokes, and it's whatever.
Yeah, and then they go to
the movie theater,
and they start watching. It's just like, okay.
They do a complete parody of Snowdrop in the middle of their episode, and then they go back and close real quick back to the other episode.
And it's like what?
And it's so unfocused. It's so scattered.
It's jarring as hell.
The Snowdrop would have been funny that they were watching the Snowdrop in the theater. It needed to be 30 seconds to a minute, probably 30 seconds.
Like
really, really quick. Do the 3 jokes that came into your mind when you first thought of the Snowdrop thing, and that's it. And you're out of the theater. It was half of the episode.
It was the entire episode. I'm just like, and then you're watching it for the first few minutes. You're like, okay, where is this going? And then it keeps going. You're like, oh, I guess this is the episode now.
Yeah,
I had to remove myself from what I was watching, and this is now what I'm involved in.
I'll tell you one thing that made me laugh.
And then when you're finally out of it, you go back to the real life and these ponies, and I'm like, oh shit! Now I'm back to these guys. I forgot I'm no longer involved in this because I've been with Snowblind for like an hour.
It's like they ran out of time, like as if
the ending had
if there's a network telling them they didn't have enough time.
The ending made no sense.
The ending was so rushed. After stalling so long and dragging out the Snowdrop, the Snowblind part,
no sense.
The ending rushed quick so fast, and it made no sense. It was dumb. Now Babseed was blind. Babseed was now blind, attempting to pull back in the Snowdrop references and stuff, and it didn't work. It did not work at all. I'll tell you one thing that made me laugh in that episode:
the Snowblind thing.
Well, the Snowblind thing is pretty. I've always laughed at Snowblind.
Well, that was a joke that was almost funny, and then they kept it going with demon voice, and I'm like,
again, they have to point at their jokes and say, "Do you get it yet?"
Yeah,
that's our joke.
That's the joke. Do you get?
Fin Flam Philosophy does jokes so fast that if you're not paying attention, you'll miss half of them. But you know what? You only need to hear half of them to be laughing through the whole thing. Then you watch it again, and you get the other half of the jokes that you missed the first time.
I want to put this here. I'm gonna put something at the end of this little. You're gonna put this on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put something at the end of this video that will make that, like, the whole Snowblind thing infinitely better, because we saw a gag in there. It's like,
I fucking love Team Fortress 2.
Oh no,
that wasn't even
I
them.
know.
Those are funny.
But it's the gag where she cries a tear, and this is like Snowblind. That should have been
yes!
That should have been the entire.
That's right. 10 seconds.
Gag.
Yeah, a tear goes down and just goes.
That would have been the funniest shit ever.
You're right. That would have been way funnier than the 40 minutes they went into.
Yes.
Okay, finally back to it. The thing that made me laugh was you know how they're good at music. I'm not sure we brought that up. They're good at music.
They're amazing at music.
So they were building because Babseed has one of the most famous songs and the biggest songs of the show.
Oh, that joke.
Yes, that joke.
Yes.
I'm glad you know where I'm going because we talked about this beforehand.
I'm sorry.
Stop slapping the thing. That was really loud.
I can't help it.
So they're really good at music, and Babseed is a huge song in the fandom from the show, and they're always good with parodies, and they build it on and they're like, oh man, let's sing a song about it, and they just do flip screen cut, and like, that was a great song. That was such Such a great joke setup.
That was hilarious.
Playing off the expectations of what they've already established that they do, and like it was like literally the best joke that they've ever done on the show.
Yeah,
was the psych out anti joke of doing a song. Let's sing a song. Man, that was a good song. Oh, yeah. Very catchy.
That was like one of the best things they've ever done.
That was almost as good as writing an actual song. Like, it was so worth it. So, kudos. That joke and a couple others were pretty good.
Yeah.
So, actual final thoughts on this juxtaposition of these two parodies.
Witchcraft has some okay jokes, but they're so far and few between. Their characters are one joke that they just put in every episode, and it doesn't work. A lot of the time. Pinky needs to be brought back, because apparently all of that was put into her. And Flim Flam Philosophy. Thank you. Fim. Whatever. Mentally Advanced Team is fantastic. You should watch it. There are living, breathing characters. It's a hilarious, fun time adventure. I'm bad at words.
I absolutely agree. Friendship is Witchcraft is a fun fandom project. Again, I'm glad it exists. I want them to keep doing it.
I mean, I guess they did spark a lot of good stuff.
It did spark a lot of fandom things. Like, there's a lot of things about the fandom we enjoyed that came out of Friendship is Witchcraft.
Like Fam.
And a lot of things that are directly from Friendship is... Besides the music, because the music. There's a lot of jokes directly from Friendship is Witchcraft that we do enjoy and repeat on a regular basis. But those are the gems we hold on to. But the overall product
overall product
it's not what people make it out to be.
As good as people say.
I don't think it should get the praise it gets. The reason I'm making this podcast is I don't want to just... shit on something. That's why I keep coming back to what they do well and how they're not that bad. My point is not to shit on this, because here's the thing.
Well, here's the major point. Hang on.
Even if this video gets 2 million views, which it won't.
No, hell
even if I had like Animated James level of views or something on this thing, they're not gonna cry themselves to sleep. I'm not hurting them because
they're gonna get 2 million views next video.
Yeah, because they're so hugely popular. I'm not gonna bring them down with my podcast. I just wanted to point out and like have some kind of awareness and discuss how it's just of the build up Flim Flam and talk about how it really is just overhyped, and I don't understand why it gets the level of praise it does. It should
Witchcraft.
Witchcraft. It should get some praise, especially for the music. It should get great accolades for the music. And it should only get a little bit, some credit for doing a parody thing.
On the flip side, Flim Flam needs so much more recognition.
Should be the most famous thing in the fandom.
Yes.
That's comedy. Should be the most famous comedy part of the fandom.
A hell of a lot more recognition.
You know what I left out is we've been going so hard on Friendship is Witchcraft's music. His songs are incredible. Flim Flam, those guys write great songs. The thing is, he's not a singer. Those don't become as famous because he sings them himself, and they're not really that good. But as a music person myself and a songwriter,
that sounds pretty good.
I see the talent. The songs he makes are really good.
Yeah. And
when he mixes the music, it's really good. And also when his songs get covered by someone else, fantastic. Tubby Wubby Pony Waifu. It's just so funny to say. That got covered. That sounds amazing. I want someone to cover Working on My Twerkin'. Where is the Prince Whatever cover of Working My Twerkin'?
That song was silly.
It's so silly, so funny. He's really good at writing songs too, but his will never be as big as Friendship is Witchcraft because their production quality on the songs are so high.
Much better.
If he could just get someone to do that production quality on his songs, his art would be the same caliber.
At the same time, though, I would want it to say the same because just like the voices of that character are singing that song, and that makes it feel much better.
Right. Well, I think that's what we got for this time. Thanks for listening. I hope you all learned something. I hope if you haven't checked out Flim Flam that you will, especially Rainbow Dash Presents. Check it out.
Biker Girl is the best.
Check out their stuff. Check out Friendship is Witchcraft too. Not that I have to tell you, because if you're watching what I'm making, you've for sure seen Friendship is Witchcraft. Good lord. But yeah, give Flim Flam a chance. Give talent a chance. And we'll catch you guys on the next 4 Jerks 1 cast. I'm Manny Roar and I'm a jerk.
You're Manny Roar and you're a jerk?
I'm Manny Roar and I am a jerk.
Oh. I'm sorry, I haven't been in any, so I have no idea how this works.
I've never signed off like that before. I just felt like doing it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Sunset Bolt and I'm not. Well, I am a jerk.
And we forgot we had an audio engineer.
Hi, audio engineer.
Hi, I'm the peanut gallery.
Audio engineer. Audio engineer says hi.
All right, guys. Catch you next time.
Peep.
That food was named Snow White. Snowblind.